a good living, and there are a lot of four-year degrees, unfortunately, that don't do that. And we're a lot less expensive than those four-year universities, so they come back to us, and the result is that they get into one of those high-demand areas. A little bit about the value of a college degree, and we're talking about everything from a certificate program all the way up to a four-year degree program or a professional degree. Even more of those people who do not have degrees, there are people who earn a degree from us generally make $20+ an hour. But over the life of a graduate, we are finding that $1.3 million is the number that we're using to tell people how much more you will make as a college graduate versus a non-college graduate. So if you finish high school and go into the workforce, or if you compare that to the person who goes into the four-year degree program or two-year degree program, $1.35 million. Of course, some make more, some make a little less, but it averages out to that. The other exciting thing is that I find about graduates is what happens down the road, the legacy that we create. College graduates tend to raise college graduates. And whether you completed your graduate degree and an advanced degree, or whether you got a two-year college degree, we find that each subsequent generation goes and gets more education than their parents did in many cases. So it's kind of an exciting thing to see. We are, a little bit about our funding. We're a state and locally funded institution. The county funds the buildings and the grounds. They are very generous to us. We work really well with the county, but they own what you see down there. Actually, by law, the trustees own it, but the county does the funding for that. We collect tuition from our students, and people fuss about tuition all the time, but we have the lowest tuition of any southeastern school in North Carolina. Other places where I've been, it was far more expensive. Those funds are returned to us in a little formula that we call FTE, full-time equivalency. And I'm not going to get into too many details, but the easiest way to remember it is if a student comes to us and takes a full load of 12 hours, then what we get back from the state is a set amount for each of those 12 hours. It is more complicated, and Coan's sitting there going, yeah, that's a simple version. It's much more complicated when we get into basic skills and some of the other things. But basically, for every student, we will return money from the state. We don't keep the tuition in-house. The state allocation to us is over $12.7 million in our last budget. The county funds us at the rate of about $2.2 million a year, and that includes maintenance and those people that help maintain, and also some of the other things that we fund here. We provide about $7 million in financial aid. I got those figures from Coan, so I know they're right. $7 million in financial aid, about $12 million in total financial aid. And I think that includes our Pell Grants and everything. The foundation provided last year over $250,000 in scholarships. We have one of the best foundations in the state, and it's because of the generosity of people like you. Money should not be a deterrent to any student who comes out of a high school in this area. We can find ways to make sure that students are able to go to school, and they really should be with us in post-high school. They should be spending some time with us or someplace. I feel that RCC is the best place to pull the county out of its economic problems, and that's been verified by some other folks that have come in and looked. We are the primary provider of workforce education in this county, and we are already training the current workforce and beginning to train the future workforce. We are, by law, many people don't realize this, the workforce development providers in the state, all across the state and the county. It is actually written into law in North Carolina. It's one of the reasons we plan to continue to be an institution of excellence dedicated to serving the needs of Rockingham County, and we were just named one of 16 excellent institutions across the state because we met all 8 of our performance measures, and we exceeded the rate that we had to meet. So this is a rural college, but it is ranking up there. We even beat out the big guys, the GTCCs and some of those others. We're currently developing new programs as quickly as we can, and we tailor those programs to build the local economy. We provide training to grow local businesses, and we're concentrating on Rockingham County. We are one arm of economic development here. We work very closely with the Economic Development Partnership and other entities in the county, Business and Technology Center, in order to make sure that we grow this area. And this is the one place on the community college campus where everybody can come together. We're neutral. In any given week, we may have the will of the people and the Dan River Basin Association. We try not to get them on the campus together at the same time. They do represent 2 opposite ends of the spectrum in many ways, but they do come to our campus, and we make that campus open. We've had the Democrats and we've had the Republicans, and we welcome everybody onto our campus, and we plan to keep it that way. We plan to stay neutral and welcome everybody. We are expecting to grow in the future. We are looking for 500 students earnestly, because I think that there are at least 500 students based on the information that I've got. who need to be with us, who are coming out of high school and not doing anything. That's the student we want. We want that kid who comes out of high school and says, I don't know what I want to do, so they hang around the house, sleep on mama's couch, and get into trouble sometimes. We would like to have them out with us. A couple of things that we've done in the last 18 months, or a few things that we've done. We have a new motto, learning, service, and leadership. We have a new official college seal. That was a little controversial. We changed the college seal from the original. We think the new one reflects a little bit more the growth and the direction that we're taking. We have a new strategic plan for the college. It was approved Tuesday night by the Board of Trustees, so it's an official new college strategic plan. We have a new marketing campaign. I would have brought you a big stack of brochures, but I wasn't sure how many people were going to be here. Didn't want to carry in that great big heavy load. But they're all over town. You can certainly stop by the college and pick one up. We have a new look and a new sound. Our television station has been completely redone. Did anybody even know we had a television station? Channel 2, it looks a lot different than it did a year ago. We've taken it under a different department, and we're doing everything that we can. We are working on facilities, as I mentioned earlier. We are trying desperately to bring our facilities up to speed with the rest of it. But we're trying to be very frugal with the money that we spend. We are not looking to build a new building. As I have said many times since I've been here, we do not have a facilities problem on our campus. We have a facilities use problem. So we are taking the old Owens building, which has been about half vacant since the departure of the Child Development Center, and we are repurposing that to become a simulated hospital. It will be a state-of-the-art simulated hospital where we can train people for the healthcare industry. It is perhaps the largest area that we know there will be growth in this healthcare. As we all get older, we're going to need people to take care of us, and we're making sure that we target that. But the simulated hospital will allow us to train people more efficiently, and we'll be able to train more people. We're even looking at expanding when we do those offerings. It allows us to allow our students to have their clinical sites on campus. We're remodeling the original chemistry building. The county has very graciously worked with us to get the money for that, and that's a $750,000 refurbishing of the original chemistry building. I swear every time I go in there, I expect Frankenstein to sit up there. It looks like old. But we're going to start that in May. We're working on turning some storage areas into classrooms. We had a classroom-sized storage area that we were just piling stuff in. So one of the things we're doing is we're going to get a cheaper building to put the junk in, and until we sell it at a surplus sale, and then we're going to move a classroom into that. We're also moving into off-campus centers. We have a center in Reedsville that will open up next month, where we will have our woodworking, so you can take a wood turning or a woodworking class, or if you want to just come down and do some general shop time, we're going to have that available. It's on Scale Street, downtown Reedsville. We also have a new facility in Eden that we hope to open up next month, where our fermentation, distillation, brewing, fermentation, and distillation technologies program will be. We are teaching people how to brew everything from beer to ethanol to go into cars. It's a science-based program. I am going to stop at this point because I'm running out of time. But I will tell you the things that you can do is to say nice things about us. And when you run across those people that are looking for someplace for their children or themselves to go, send them our way. I think we've got a great service to offer to the county. A lot of opportunities. We can find money for most people to go to school. And we're always looking for ideas. I have an open door policy, and that includes sending me an email or calling me. I will talk to you, or I will get back to you if I'm not available at that time. I welcome all comments. I'm still feeling my way through the area, and I need help from people like you to tell me the direction that the college should be going. You all have much better ideas about where we should be going than I do. I'm going to stop there and ask you if you have any questions, because I was supposed to only go 7 minutes. I think I have my time. Yes, sir.
Dr. Hellman, I know you have another engagement, and I think you have to do the opening.
I'm good for about another 7 or 8 minutes.
But what I would ask you, if you would, not in detail, but if you could email your notes to Mabel. I saw several students screaming trying to take notes. So if you would, we'd appreciate it.
Absolutely. Yeah, I've got it already. I do everything electronically. So
that was your question?
No. I did have another question.
Go right ahead.
There are other colleges in other counties that are now participating in the North Carolina Back to Work program. It's kind of a niche program that specifically targets long-term unemployed. Is there any chance that RCC may participate in such a program?
We want another name for that program. I think it's the same one as the mid-level skills grant that's just come out. We didn't qualify the first round of that, and we didn't qualify because a lot of that is built around, if we're talking about the same, they're about probably 50 programs. out
Well, it's
there.
free. That's
Yeah,
the-
we are qualifying for some of that, and I'm not sure if we're talking about the same program or not. Coanne, do you know? Okay, I'm not sure either. We do have a number of back-to-work programs, and I'm not sure whether the one that you're talking about.
Well,
is
this
the
one
same or not.
specifically provides free courses in certain professions geared to getting people back to work, and it's specifically for long-term unemployed people. And some of the criteria are that you have to have exhausted your unemployment benefits and a couple of other criteria, but other than that, all the courses are free, and where are we with that?
I think we do participate in that. I think the one that we're talking about, again, it's, divided by common languages. Human Resources Development Career Readiness Certificate is a very strong program for us. We offer that not only on the main campus, but through the Goodwill centers in the area. We have a strong partnership with Goodwill. And I think that's the same one that we're talking about. We have a number of back-to-work programs. If a person is out of work and they've exhausted their benefits, we have a lot of avenues to explore with them. So it just depends on what, some of those are industry specific, but if you're going into a specific industry and we don't have the industry there, that's the one I was starting to tell you about, the mid-skills. We didn't have that, so we didn't qualify the first round. We're going after the second round that will give us the money to do that. And that one was announced recently. Davidson, Forsyth, Guilford, somebody else has that grant in the area, but we didn't have enough of what we call the third-party verifications. But if a person in this area is out of work and they need training, they need to come see us.
I'm going to introduce our county manager. He was with us last week, but he's also with us again, and he too will have some interesting comments, and hopefully we'll be able to take questions afterwards. Now let me warn you folks, we've got several people here in the museum who will be waiting as guides to help us, and we may have to go through our break period so that we don't keep them here all night, okay? Lance?
Good evening. I'm Lance Metzer. I'm your county manager, and I'm officially a homeowner. I purchased a house and have been working on the house all day, so my paint high is starting to come off a little bit. So hopefully I'll be able to function correctly.
What was it you just said?
What?
What was it you just said?
If it starts going, snap your fingers and do like this. Yeah, really. Well, he's taking it back there. Put it on YouTube, Roy, if you need to. As Dr. Helmick said, the longevity for the presidents over at the college are 15 years, with the managers for Rockingham County are 10 years or less. So hopefully I can at least live that longevity out for the county. I've been here a total of 8 months, as I mentioned last time, and I have enjoyed every moment I've been here. Just a little bit about the county as far as history. In 1785, the General Assembly created Rockingham County from the northern portions of Guilford County. So you were actually part of Guilford County. So thank goodness we broke off. Rockingham County was named for Charles Watson Wentworth. He was the second Marquis of Rockingham, served as Great Britain's Prime Minister. In 1787, site for county seat secured, and county court convened a new courthouse near the center of the county. In 1798, the General Assembly established the town of Wentworth as the county seat. In 1868, the North Carolina Constitution created the Board of Commissioners. The commissioners were 3, and then they went back to 5. I don't know how long ago that was, but you've got a good group of commissioners, and the way this organization works is obviously the organizational chart that we have. Citizens, all of you are our employers. And then you elect the Board of Commissioners, who appoints a county manager, and the county manager oversees the operations of the day-to-day functions of the county. We have, in the county, we have, in case these are areas that you may need to contact, they fall under my purview, is finance, planning and zoning, building inspections, tax department, information technology, animal shelter, human resources, maintenance, public utilities, which includes water and sewer, landfill, facilities management, 911 communications, emergency management, fire marshals, emergency medical services, solid waste conservation, tourism, public information officer, strategic management, wellness, purchasing, biz tech, veterans affairs. I'm sure there's a few that we're leaving off. So, but they all fall under my purview, and I work with each department. We have in total over 660 employees that work for the county, and through our lean management process, we're trying to make sure that we provide the best bang for the buck. So we're trying to analyze each department to make sure through a workflow analysis that in fact all those employees are needed in those specific departments. So we're continuing to try to improve what we have with the county. Now I had a kind of a preliminary breakdown of what I was going to discuss, but I've come up with my own little presentation. As I normally do, I'll get it and I'll look at it and I'll think, well, I'll change it around a little bit. Just a little bit about what the county manager does. My main two goals is to implement the policies that the Board of Commissioners set. And then my second major responsibility is to develop and present the budget to the commissioners for their consideration. Some of the other offsets are that I'm a conduit between the Board of Commissioners. They set policies. I'm obligated to implement those policies, and they're implemented through the department heads or the staff. We have a budget of $83 million. Most of it comes from you all from real estate and sales taxes, and then state and federal funds. In the role as a manager, no 2 days are the same. One day you could be dealing with a citizen who has a complaint about someone who wants to have a haunted house and they're concerned about issues with that, to having a major fire up in an area that staff has to go and evaluate the cause of it, come back to me and tell me what happens with it. So